So I said I'd do a little video for you on this flying ducks patchwork. Going to be a placemat, and it's adapted from the pattern for patchwork blocks that I had been using in previous videos, which is free patterns from Moda. They're called blockheads. It's series 6 in blockheads, and the center of this one is the patchwork block because they're square patchwork blocks, but obviously a placemat you want something a bit longer. Now I still haven't finished this, and I posted ages ago on my community page that I would show you when it was a bit further along, and I was saying that I had a lot of work in it because I wanted to do a little jokey sort of commentary on the fact that it is a flying ducks, I was calling them, wasn't I? Geese, flying geese is what they call this patchwork block pattern, where you have little triangles, half square triangles they call them. This technique for doing a little set of triangles that kind of looks like it's got movement in it, so it sort of looks like geese flying. That's the idea. So my geese flew a bit further than the original square in the middle, and I kept continuing the pattern, modified it slightly because the pattern for it is actually that you get 3 flying geese across and 1 down. And of course, it's all built on these 4 small squares in the middle. And I will show you the original pattern that it is based on. So here we are. This one was called Cloud 9, and as you can see, Moda Blockhead 6, and that's a freebie online. I'll post a link to it below. And I have links to other blocks in the same series back in the mini project. The last mini project that I did was using these, as well as one other patchwork quilt that was a Jane Austen freebie quilt, to anniversary quilt to celebrate some Jane Austen anniversary. So these are all quilt making techniques, and this one, as you can see, was a square one, so that's the pattern that I built on. So the middle is the same, and then I just came along and I went down, across, up with my geese, because I wanted them to look like they were flying around in a formation, and then started doing white work embroidery on the middle bits to have a sort of a migration pattern of geese. I had plans to put some edge binding on here in a nice matching fabric that would sort of frame up the placemat nicely, using this on the upper and lower edge, possibly the other edges as well, but I'm not sure whether I will bother doing those. But I ran into a problem by the time I got to doing the second side, because I had planned to continue this white work embroidery, doing the little geese on the back, which was a plain, beautiful dark blue cotton. That was a upcycled tea towel, actually. But this was going to be the back, and I had done a few geese and hadn't quite finished those, and planned to do rows of bulrushes along the bottom, all in white work, to continue the theme of migration, to make it look a bit autumnal, because I tend to like having 2 sides to a placemat, because I don't know if people like to admit this, but when a placemat gets a stain on it, sometimes you turn it over and use the other side until that gets a stain on it as well. Then you wash it. Because who likes washing things? You know, you get the best use out of things you can. So the problem I ran into was my thumb. No, I'm not telling you to thumbs up, but I would like you to thumbs up if you like the video. This thumb, I got a repetitive strain injury in it, and all the way up my thumb and up into my forearm started to ache, and the ache turned into sharp pain. So that said to me, okay, that's a repetitive strain injury. And I wasn't quite sure whether it was from sewing or from playing guitar at night, because both activities have me using my left thumb a lot. For this, I when I'm sewing the little small bits together, I was holding the thing like this with my thumb in that pinching motion. So that muscle in the thumb was being held in a tense position for quite a while. And that might have contributed to it. Doing that for like a few hours at a time, not getting enough of a rest for the thumb. And when you're playing guitar, you also have your thumb involved on the back of the guitar. So I wasn't quite clear whether it was my hour and a half of practicing guitar. At night, I attempt to practice classical guitar. Not very good yet, but I don't know if I'll ever be. But I wasn't sure, was it from that or from sewing? So eventually I decided I have to lay off both for a while to give the thumb a chance to recover, because a sharp pain is not a good pain, and I could permanently damage my arm or hand from that pain. So I have so far had to take a break for about 4 or 5 days from both, and it's difficult. But you know me, I have lots of other hobbies, and I'm off hiking, running, doing book reviews on my other channel, Your Analog Life, and lots of other things to keep me busy. But the result is you won't get to see this all put together, or even the bottom part of this back panel finished, until maybe a next video, or I'll probably do a video rather than I was going to say a community post, but I might do a video on it just to show you. But there's still a way to go on this, and interfacing and binding and everything has to go on it. It was an enjoyable project, and I think that's how I got into the difficulty, not listening to the warning signs of pain when it started and not backing off early enough. But complete rest, I reckon, is what it needs at the moment. So when I do get back in action, and finish it, the bottom section with all the rushes and everything should take me a little bit of time to do. I will come back and show you. But just to show you how the white work embroidery was done, it's all done in satin stitch, which is just going across. You know, it's a very simple stitch. I mean, I'd have to change directions for the wings. And then the little birds, the way they were done, if you notice on both of them, even on the front one, they're all done differently. Now you can see a lot of pink happening there. When that gets ironed, that will come out. And I had a white pen in the set, which was extremely useful. This has all different colours, and they're iron off pens, fabric pens, so they're very handy for drawing. But the original drawing of the geese, I just looked at geese and then drew out a few. I drew out a few on a little sticky note, starting from the idea of having 3 in the center, like this, in this bit. And didn't trace them or anything, just kind of copied the basic shape. And it's not a difficult shape. It's a round, bulby, round shape for the head, with a pointy bit for a beak, and then a teardrop shape for the body, and then finally 2 of these angled shapes. And you can do things like tilt the head in different directions and make these little geese different sizes, to add a little bit of personality to them. Look at this guy is looking down. This guy is looking at the guy in front of him. This guy is looking up at this guy, and they're all following the leader. So it goes in that shape, the way geese go when they're flying off or flying back from migrations. So we won't know how it turns out for a while. But it's nice to have something to look forward to. I probably could do some knitting or something in the meantime, but I think I prefer to do total rest and just work out the rest of my body rather than overworking one particular bit. But I cannot wait to see how it looks with the back on, and this very striking border on it as well to edge the front with. So we'll see how that goes, and I can't give you a timeline for that. The body takes as long as it needs to heal, but I'll know when it's healed, because I won't be getting sharp pains anymore when I do that pinching movement with my hand, and I'll be able to resume the guitar and sewing. But I'm going to respect my body, and if anybody else has ever had similar injuries from sewing, you'll probably know that you get yourself into worse trouble if you don't listen to your body and just stop doing what you're doing for a while and give it a little bit of rest.